Shedeur Sanders is going to be the Browns' starting quarterback when this season begins. Is that ridiculous?
There's a very good chance that if this is an organic competition with a level playing field, he could be your starter week one. No question about it.
We're now tuned in to the Dark Times channel.
So here we go again, back with another one. Welcome back to the Dark Times channel. And before I get started, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button for me one time. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you've been enjoying the content so far on this channel, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and get into it. I've been saying for a while now that I think Shedeur Sanders could start sometime this season, but now it's looking like the Cleveland Browns may not have a choice but to go ahead and throw Shedeur Sanders out there week one.
I'm going down with the ship with my friend Mel Kiper on this one.
I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. Fifth player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the fourth round. A quarterback that's sitting there in round four with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness. Arm strength is certainly more than good enough. I don't see, outside of not being have the rocket arm and the 4.6 speed and the big frame, the 6'3", 230-pound frame, what is he lacking? Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. Fourth round, Kirk Cousins went. Fourth round, Dak Prescott went. Worked out pretty good for them. It's just that Shedeur was projected a lot higher than they were. That's why we're having this discussion.
He is the most underdrafted player that I can ever remember. I genuinely believe if he has a chance, a real chance, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the Browns' starting quarterback when this season begins. Is that ridiculous?
No, Greeny, you know, it's not ridiculous as long as they are able to. And I heard Dan Graziano talking about this morning earlier on ESPN radio. Yeah, I listen to it when I'm in my car in the morning. It's all, as long as they can get him enough reps. And it sounds like Kevin Stefanski is aware of the fact that in order to create a real quarterback competition, he has to kind of change some things in terms of the way he divvies out reps during the preseason and during the offseason. If he can compete with Dylan Gabriel, if he can compete with Joe Flacco, he can compete with Kenny Pickett, there's a very good chance that if this is an organic competition with a level playing field, he could be your starter week one. No question about it.
And if you would have told people a couple of weeks ago that Shedeur Sanders was going to be a starter on opening day for a franchise, nobody would have raised an eyebrow. But you fast forward a couple of weeks post-draft and post-Shedeur going in the fifth round. Well, now it's breaking news if Shedeur winds up starting week one.
Look, sometimes we attach this number now. He was a fifth-round draft pick. Yeah. And I understand that there was a reason for that. I'm not pretending it doesn't matter at all. But what I'm saying is if he had been drafted in the second round or the first, which is what we were expecting, then there'd be almost no debate about it, right? We'd be with exactly the same body of work in college and the same skill set. We would absolutely be forecasting him to be the starter, especially, Dan, when you consider the other options they have available.
And I agree with all of that. A lot of people and most scouts thought Shedeur Sanders was a first-round talent. And so for him not to be the week one starter coming out of that QB group after training camp would be somewhat dissatisfying, to say the least. And a lot of people feel like that. And most importantly, the fan base of Cleveland now feels like that. Because there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of buzz around Cleveland right now, and as well there should be. They have two quarterbacks they drafted, one of them being Shedeur Sanders and the other one being Dylan Gabriel. And whether people love it or they hate it, people want to see Shedeur Sanders. He was the guy that was supposed to be a first-round quarterback. He was the guy that was supposed to be a franchise quarterback if he was drafted in the first round. And so they have a right to be excited. Those fans in Cleveland have a right to be excited and a little bit curious to see what Shedeur Sanders can actually do once he gets the ball in his hands. But even the fans that don't want to see Shedeur, even the ones that want to watch him fail, even those fans want to tune in and watch Shedeur. Be it for the wrong reasons, but nevertheless, they still want to watch. And so if I'm Cleveland and it's week one and it's close and all those quarterbacks in the room are neck and neck, I got to go with Shedeur Sanders week one. Because if you don't go with Shedeur Sanders week one, whoever you start on week one for the Cleveland Browns isn't going to be good enough to keep the questions from the media and the questions from the fans calling for Shedeur Sanders to start. I don't care who you have out there, other than Tom Brady coming out of retirement. I don't care who it is. People are going to want to see Shedeur Sanders. And so I don't think it's fair to a lot of those quarterbacks to put them in a situation in which they're going to have one of the toughest schedules for the first 7 weeks anyway, one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. And so if you throw Dylan Gabriel out there, I don't think it's going to be good for him, because if he has one bad week, maybe 2 bad weeks, that's a wrap. You're going to have fans calling to see Shedeur anyways. And so at least this way, the Browns can find out if they have their franchise quarterback and avoid all the where's Shedeur or when is Shedeur going to start questions. And if somehow Shedeur is not the guy, if the Cleveland Browns think that Shedeur is not going to be the guy and he's not going to be their franchise quarterback, then you can go ahead and put Dylan Gabriel in or one of the other guys in and give them a legitimate shot. And so now they got a legitimate shot. And so not only do I think it'd be a good football decision, I think it would be a good franchise business decision to go ahead and start Shedeur Sanders, go with the guy that the fans want to see, go with the guy that the media wants to see, and see what happens. But those are my thoughts on it anyway. Go ahead and chime in below. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Let's go ahead and keep that conversation going. And as usual, peace and chaos.